Previously, BMW announced that it was going to introduce 25 electrified vehicles by the year 2025, with more than half comprising of fully electric models. But just last year, the Bavarian car maker revealed that it was speeding up its plan to electrify its model range by 2023, 2 years earlier than originally planned. Now that's exactly why we have the X3 xDrive 30e right here, which is essentially just a plug-in hybrid variant of the X3. You get the full-on fat grille. I mean, people look at it and they go, wow, this is another BMW is going overboard with the whole grille and all that. But let's be honest, right? You look at it long enough, it'll just become another thing in your daily life. I don't know, it's just, it grows. I can't say it grows on me. I mean, it doesn't grow on me at all, but I get used to it. Right? Everything else just looks BMW X3 here. You cannot tell that it's a plug-in hybrid variant until you come to this side of the car and you see a flap right here that basically just allows you to charge the car via magic, a wall charger. The BMW X3 plug-in hybrid is priced just under $260,000. The 2-litre twin-power turbocharged engine produces a combined output of 290 brake horsepower and 420 Nm of torque. The 8-speed automatic transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in just 6.1 seconds. For more details on the X3 plug-in hybrid or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. It feels damn good when you can just succeed on first try. You get 450 litres worth of boot space. It's slightly down from the regular X3, but that's because of the battery and all that kinds of stuff. But very forgivable because 450 is still a lot. Check-in luggage, checked. Let's see if it passes the anti-trolley length test. Come on! Maybe, maybe not. Let's just... Oh yeah. That's cool. No, it's not cool. And it decided to open halfway for me. But no worries, because we can still fit more than that. I can just put it like this. Have these charging wires block here. Put this inside like this. Now it'll fit for sure, and maybe some other barang, maybe if you tapao chicken rice, you can put on the hooks here, it'll still fit with ease. But if you're like me and you're stubborn and you just die want to put the previous configuration, fret not. There's a catch here that will just knock the rear seats down flat. Now in this configuration, you get over 1,500 litres. That's quite a lot actually. And that's cool. No, I kind of like the color actually. That's the first thing that you would think of. I like my cabins black because I always think that black is the most classy and you can't go wrong with black. But the X3 plug-in hybrid is dark brown in color. It's upholstered dark brown leather. It's very nice, very tastefully done with a bit of greyish, bluish threading. Really matches very well. Nice contrast. But first things first, right? So space. Obviously, I get ample legroom and ample headroom given that this is an SUV, but I suspect even people who are about 170 centimeters and above would enjoy such luxurious space. The front seat, driver's seat, has been adjusted to John's sitting position, so it's a lot backward than it should be, but yet I'm still getting this much, and that's always a good thing. I can't sit cross-legged, but I can still slouch with ease. The seats are relatively comfortable. So is the center seat. It's soft and it's not hard, so it'll fit 3. However, I can't seem to put my feet up here. I can't. There just isn't enough space. So the center guy will have to sit with his legs open slightly wider, and that might just compromise on the leg space for the other two guys. So it might be best left for 2, but you could still do 3, no problem. We have additional pockets here, cubby holes actually. There you go. You got two cup holders. It's a little plasticky. I'm not too sure if you can hear it. It's a little plasticky, but it's a small issue really. It's really just nitpicking. It gets the job done to hold the drinks, I'm sure. But I do have one small complaint though, and that's the sealing. Now the recent GLA class that we reviewed came in complete black, and that just enhanced the whole sportiness and kind of gives you that luxe feeling, but not quite the X3 unfortunately. It's upholstered here in creamy light color, and it's not really my cup of tea. Good thing is, everything else feels good to the touch. Buttons feels good to the touch. Everything very well put together. There's even an X here to remind you that you're driving an X vehicle. Quite cool. You get ISOFIX. You also get 2 USB ports right here and 2 aircon vents, which is perfect for Singapore's weather. It's comfortable, yes, but I have to say it's not the most comfortable or the most luxurious in its class, but I really don't think the X3 plug-in hybrid is all about lux. Now the good thing about a plug-in hybrid is that, like electric vehicles, when you start the car, the only telltale sign that the car has cranked up is the instrument cluster. It lights up and it tells you that, you know what, the car is ready to rock and roll. The seats are quite comfortable. The seats that I'm on kind of holds you in place. I'm faced with a multifunctional steering wheel. Feels good to the touch. Soft, cushy, round, solid, firm feel. Beyond that is a 12.25 digital instrument cluster. Now all the information that you need is probably right here. I can toggle through certain menus to actually, you know, I can see my fuel consumption. I can see how much juice I'm left with before I am completely dried up, what music it's playing, so it's quite informative. Elsewhere, this is a little busy if you ask me. I'm saying busy if you compare it to, like, say maybe Audi for instance. Now Audi does one of the cleanest, uncluttered cabins in the car business. BMW isn't quite there yet, but everything you need is all here, so you don't have to toggle through like 12 menus before you reach you know, the radio station or something. Everything you need is all here. You have the eDrive, which I will touch on in a bit. You have 3 different driving modes: Eco, Pro, Comfort and Sport, and of course the iDrive system. This rotary knob here just controls everything you need to do on this 10.3-inch touchscreen infotainment display. Just behind it, oh lovely, you have wireless charging. So let's put my phone here. Voila, it's charging. 2 cup holders. Oh, 1 USB port as well. And of course you have the X3 moniker right here, tell you that you're driving, reminding you of a car that you're driving. Now here's the thing, right? The cabins of BMWs haven't really evolved over the years. So what you see here is probably what you'll see on the X1, the X5, the 3, the 5 series. Some minor changes depending on the models, of course. To some it's just boring, to some it's clinical, to some this is all I need. And I'm kind of right in between. I mean, you step into a Mercedes-Benz, right, and you see 2 10.25 screen inch, huge, larger than life screens, like 20-inch in total, and you go like, whoa. Then you come inside here, you look at one 10.3-inch and you're like, oh, but the question is, do you really need 20-inch screens? Or do you just need this? I just need this. I need it! All the functions, they're all here. A little bit about the eDrive that I was supposed to talk about. If you press the eDrive, Max eDrive mode comes along. Now, I can't select Max eDrive right now because the battery is not sufficiently charged. I kind of used up the entire 50 to 50 kilometers worth of electric juice because I was sort of driving a lot last night. But anyway, long story short, I haven't charged the car yet. So Max eDrive just basically means you can drive the car in pure electric mode up to about some 135 kilometers per hour. It will just shoot out like any other electric cars. Now, if you can also choose between Max eDrive or Auto eDrive, which I am mostly on now. Auto eDrive is a mixture of both petrol and pure electric. choice. You'll sort of choose depending on the situation which is better to support the way you drive. Of course, if you mash the throttle, then the internal combustion engine will kick in. If not, you can actually drive in just pure electric mode up to like 110 kilometers per hour or something. So I don't know if you can actually hear it. The engine just started, the internal combustion engine just kicked in. I kicked in for several reasons. The main reason is because we have been idling for a while now and it needs to power the aircon and whatever that you see here. Hence, the engine will have to kick in to power all this stuff up. So yes, oh, and one more thing actually, you actually have a battery control. Now, the battery control, when you can set the target value of the state of charge of your battery, I set it to 100% obviously. You can set it to 90, 80, 70 depending on your preference, but I just left it at 100. Elsewhere, everything looks fine and dandy. The question is, can it drive as fine and dandy? It's one way to find out. So the X3 plug-in hybrid that we have here today is somewhat based around the X320i variant. What I'm saying is, it has the same horsepower. It's about 181 brake horsepower, but the only difference is that for this plug-in hybrid, obviously there's an electric motor that pumps out another some 107 brake horsepower. So the entire combined system output for this car today is 290 brake horsepower and 420 Newton meters of torque. Now these figures are channeled to each wheel, right? It's an X drive, so it's a four-wheel drive. Because of that, when you floor the throttle to overtake cars on the highway, it does so very seamlessly and very effortlessly. 0 to 100 on paper is about 6.1 seconds. Unfortunately, I think it's because of the heft of the car, because of all the batteries and all, it feels like 6.1. It doesn't feel faster than the figures suggest, unlike the rest of the other X3 variants that I've driven before. Yeah, but on the bright side, I mean, it scores relatively high on comfort. I say that, I mean, it's not the most comfortable in its class, and I know I've said this before. But I mean, just think about it, right? Buyers of the X3 plug-in hybrid, this car, I don't think they buy it for crazy driving. I mean, if crazy driving even fits the description. If I had the money to buy an X3 30e, I'd probably buy, in this particular variant especially, I'll probably buy it because of the space I'm getting, comfort, as well as fuel efficiency. And for that, I can't say that this car disappoints. In fact, this car does relatively well. When I first collected the car and I was on pure electric mode, I actually got 3.1 liters per 100 km. So that's about 33.3 kilometers per liter, which is amazing. And then I was just an idiot and I used up all of it. And when the internal combustion engine had to kick in, and for the past 2 days, I managed to clock 11.4 kilometers per liter. Well, it states 11.4 kilometers per liter. Now that's not so bad, right? I mean, it's very. My own personal car don't even clock this kind of mileage. To be honest, I mean, that kind of sucks. Makes you think of having a family car, an X3 30e as your family car. So here's the golden question, right? Will buy, won't buy, or go try the BMW X3 xDrive 30e, which essentially is the X3 plug-in hybrid. My answer, well, it's a won't buy for me. Now, before I give my reasons why I won't buy, I gotta make this statement first, right? I say this all the time and I'm going to say this again. I am all for electric cars. I am all for electrified vehicles, be it hybrid, plug-in, or fully electric vehicles. I'm all for them because It's more socially responsible, number one. Number two, I would like to think that it's for my children and my children's children, hopefully. I'm actually sort of glad that more car makers are making more electric cars, and as a result, more people are buying more electric cars around the world, not just Singapore. But it's just not for me at this point in time. I'm just not ready to take that plug-in hybrid leap. It's very arguable because some will say, you know what, a plug-in hybrid, half the time I'm actually driving like a regular X3 because I used up the entire range of pure electric range basically. I just used it all up. So half the time I'm driving like an X3. So the question is, why don't I just get a regular X3, which would be affordable, more affordable than this $260,000 car. Secondly, if I buy a regular X3, I can just walk into Shell or drive into Shell station, pump it, 10 minutes later I'm out, fully juiced up. You could do the same for the plug-in hybrid theoretically, but it's just not the same if you don't charge it, right? And if I just wanted to drive in pure electric mode, which I thoroughly enjoy, I should just buy the iX3, the upcoming iX3, if I could afford it. I mean, a fully electric vehicle for that matter. So this sort of sits in between, and it's just not my cup of tea. Secondly, I don't get the aural satisfaction. There's just no sound. You get a bit of sound, but it's not exciting, you know what I mean? Boring! Last but not least, for a car this size, I would actually expect the center guy at the back to be able to put his feet on top, like where the transmission tunnel is, that little hump. But you can't because BMW sort of made the seat a little wider so that you can fit your bum and your thighs comfortably, which it does, and I'm so glad it does. But the thing is, because of that, there's just not enough space to put the feet on top. And can you imagine if I have a family of 5? The center guy at the back is just gonna be suffering all the time. Every time I bring my family out for zi char, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, so no, it's just not for me. That said, I would buy a regular X3 if I could afford. But that's just me. So anyway, there you have it, guys. That's the review of the BMW X3 plug-in hybrid. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell notification button so that, you know, you'll be notified whenever we upload new videos. Please also feel free to pen down your thoughts in the comment box below and let us know whether or not you will buy, won't buy, or go try the X330e. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, be well. Ciao!